Hello, welcome to my channel, Charlie's Lessons, and in this video, we're looking at why I use Classdojo in every class and why you should do too. I started using Classdojo about 12 years ago, and now I'm a Classdojo mentor for my school. I remember I started using it when I had a particularly difficult class, and that was when I realized that my classroom management skills were just not up to scratch. I really struggled to control this class. And you know what it's like when you have a class like that. It's horrible. You can't sleep. You're dreading that class every week. You try everything in the book and nothing works. And it's funny, but actually one of the things I tried with this one group was to buy them Panini football stickers, chocolates, sweets with my own money in an attempt to get them to behave, and I gave it to them as prizes at the end of each month. I'm sure you know the outcome, it didn't work. When I came across Classdojo and started using it with them in class, it completely transformed their behavior and attitude to learning. Now, before we continue, I think it's important to say that this program only forms part of the solution to your class management problems. Now let's take a look at how we set up a Classdojo class with their avatars. Once you've got yourself set up with a Classdojo account, we just click on New Class, add a class name. Now, I recommend sharing all points with parents, so that's both positive and negatives, because you want to give parents the whole picture. Create a class. Now to add students, click here, and you need to add them by their full name. This way, you can ensure that the students are connected to their parents. And once the student has been added, they appear with their avatar. Now, it's really important that you allow the students to choose their own avatar at the beginning of the class, because in this way, they will identify more with their character, and it means there will be more engagement from their part. To change your student's avatar, we go to Options, Edit Class, choose the student we'd like to change the avatar, click on the picture, and here we have a series of monsters that you can let the student choose. Once you've done that, you can save, and the student's avatar has now changed. One of the things I really like about the Classdojo point system is that you can add and remove points during the year. So for example, in any school year that I've used Classdojo, I've always added points to both the positive and needs work areas. If I'm seeing some particularly negative behavior from my students, I can add a needs work point in an attempt to focus attention on that and try and improve that. Again, with positive points, I can include some positive points that are focusing on a particular kind of behavior that I want to promote in class. Or as an English language teacher like myself, I can focus actually on target language that I'd like the students to produce and reward them for it with positive points. Before using Classdojo for the first time with your students, you as the teacher need to decide what are the core positive points and the core needs work points that are not going to be up for discussion. I'm going to go in there straight away. Always there is going to be more positive points than needs work points, because this platform was all about positive reinforcement for the students. Think about this class when you're looking at the points of the students as any regular class when you're making the classroom rules for that group. Now, once you've been using Classdojo for a few months, you can begin to see how the points are being shared between the class. And this way you can identify any problems with any particular student or with the group. And this is especially useful when you might have a parents' evening or tutorials or meetings with parents, and it really can help you explain what's going wrong or what's going right in the classroom. Now, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a little tip that I use that really boosts student engagement in the classroom. So make sure you stick around for that. Now I want to take a look at class and school stories. Now, the way I use these two features of Classdojo is to maintain that feeling of community within the platform. The class story, I encourage teachers to upload photos, videos, anything from class that gives the parents at home a feeling of what's happening in the classroom. And I myself use a school story to inform the parents of any updates at the school, any important news that the parents need to know about. Now, one of the really positive effects we've experienced from teachers uploading photos, videos, students' work onto the class story is that it keeps the parents interested, but it also creates an extra bit of motivation for the students, for them to know that their work is being displayed to their mum and dad and also the other parents in the class. Now, I think one of the biggest reasons why we've seen an improvement in our students' behaviour is having the parents connected. And I think when the students see that, it helps them to understand that their actions inside of school can have an effect on what happens outside of school. So from my experience, having the parents connected increases students' engagement with the platform, it improves students' behaviour across the board, and it creates a community which the Classdojo platform can help you build. It's bonus time, and I want to show you these motivational tables that I set up for my students based on their interests. In the first one, we can see it's based on the FIFA game that's so popular with my students. And the objective here is, can you get a Ronaldo or Messi? And so what we have here are various levels and points totals that the students have to reach. And once they reach each level, I change the avatar to these FIFA cards. And as you can see, the top one is the one that the students are most after. Another dynamic is using Pokemon. This lends itself perfectly to the evolution of points. As we can see, we can move through the levels and change the avatars depending on what Pokemon they have reached. I also got involved with Fortnite as my students were obsessed with it. Here we had the weapons that are available in Fortnite. Didn't take me long to find out which one was the best, which one was the worst. I just put them at each end. Again, continuing with the Fortnite scheme, I took the skins that are available in the game and used those. And the original one most teachers use is this idea of the karate belts, and that each student changes to an avatar that holds each color belt. Now, feel free to adopt any of the ideas I just showed you, but if you would like to use something new, all you need to remember is that the underlying dynamic is that the students start with a low number and finish with a high number, and that they're trying to reach that final goal. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helps you if you do have problems with classroom management. And if you like the video, then please subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you next time.